So in 1970, when I was 13, my mother and two sisters were killed in an Air Canada plane crash. And when I think about that time and the funerals and the whole process of dealing with our tremendous grief and profound sadness, it's so strikingly similar to now, because back then in the 70s, people thought the best way to deal with loss and grief was to never mention the people who had died. So while I remember the identification of body parts and funerals for my mother and two younger sisters, it was unbelievable how alone we felt. And even though there were lots of people at the funerals, the minute the funeral was over and people resumed their lives, we felt completely alone. So it's really fascinating to me that we have something at our fingertips now called Zoom, where we can actually utilize a way of showing families and people who are grieving that we are still connected to them, and that we understand that they need to stay connected, and they want that support and that love, and they want to hear the names of the people who died or the name of the person who died, and they want to hear stories, and they want to know that other people are impacted by this death, which is something we missed so badly back in 1970. And I want to believe that during a pandemic, we are not going to lose sight of the importance of that, and make sure that we stay connected during funerals through Zoom, that we stay connected to family members even after a funeral by arranging for Zoom get-togethers to talk about that person and keep their memory alive and show their loved ones that even though someone has died, that there are so many people who are terribly impacted and will continue to be impacted by that horrific loss. So that is one of the things that has come out of this pandemic, is that Zoom is a way of staying connected. So when I think back to 1970, people resumed their lives immediately without us in it. And now we can Zoom people together and make sure that people feel connected and not forgotten.